For EP, climbing walls and handholds is our business, but that's really not why we're here. We're here to enrich people's lives and introduce climbing to the world. We know that once somebody gets an opportunity to go indoors and climb on a climbing wall, that they're going to be hooked and they're going to be a climber for life.
And it's a very warm welcome back to Wujiang here in China for the second leg of the IFSC World Cup Asia Tour for 2014. Mokpo Korea last week, Wujiang in China this week. We're on the shores of Lake Benhu. We're about an hour and a half west of downtown Shanghai, and we're rolling them down, 8 men and 8 women, tackling the final route very shortly to be crowned champion here in Wujiang. Well, the semi-finals earlier today caused upsets galore. It really was. It was a champion's graveyard this morning. It's the best way to describe it. We lost many big names in the semi-finals. We didn't have time to put the results up this morning because of technical difficulties, but I'll go run through them now. This is the top 8 who will contest this final here in Wujiang. Sean McCall has topped out in all 3 routes he's been on so far, followed by the European champion Domen Skofic. A lot of smart money going on the young Slovenian for this one. We shall see. Romain Julien Piblanque, the double world champion, survived the semi-final. Akito Matsushima, Stefano Ghisolfi, Gautier Super and Mario Lechner makes a final for the first time this season. Zidamar so near yet so far. Ellen Jonas McRae, 24 plus, only 2 places off for the young Canadian who went up very early. Cheng Wen-fu, Magnus Midbo, not this time. Javier Keno Blasquez, King Ha Wang, Shinichiro Nomura, all Vexler, and then look at these big names at the bottom here. Jakob Schubert, Loic Simmons, Adam Ondra, Martin Jack. It really was a champion's graveyard here this morning. Shea Messer from the United States props up that leaderboard. 16 women took the semi-final vault this morning. And again, we lost a few big names in this one. Maya Vidmar, who went out 3rd in this semi-final, will have the lead and she will go last in the final, followed by her teammate Mina Markovič. Magdalena Röck in 3rd. Katharina Posch 4th. Anak Verhoeven, we heard from her before the semi-final. She's in good spirits and could it be her time today. Yuka Kobayashi in 6th. Hélène Janicot 7th. Aya Ono 8th. And then look at 10th place, the 2014 world champion. Another who succumbed to the champion's graveyard in the semi-final this morning. Jean Kim, 21 plus, and another European champion. Dinara Fakritinova, 20 in 13th place. They do not make it. Well, as I mentioned, we had a chat with Anak Verhoeven before the semi-final, and another young climber we wanted to feature is also made it to the men's final. That's Domen Skofic of Slovenia, and it's intrigued to hear what he had to say. Domen, here we are in Wujiang in China, the second leg of this Asia Tour. Let's look back at last week in Mokpo. You went out early in that final, and it's your best ever result in a World Cup. 2nd place?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I actually didn't feel very okay in the first day. In the first qualifier, I feel okay, but I don't know, maybe it was the problem of all the traveling and all the stuff that you cannot warm up. The warm-up area is all slabby and everything, so the first warm-up is actually the first route. So the first day I felt really bad, and I said maybe I have to forget for the next day. The semi-final was a lot better, but still didn't feel okay. In the finals I just enjoyed. It was a fun route, and I think just everything paid off, and yeah, I had a really good time and really satisfied with the 2nd place for sure.
Is that the attitude that a lot of you younger climbers go into these World Cups in right now, that you have nothing to lose? You know, in a way, is that the best attitude to go into these competitions at?
Yeah, I always look that way. Actually, I had a lot more stress on the youth comps than on the World Cups, because on the World Cups I had actually nothing to lose. I was climbing against the world best climbers, and I just tried to do my best. So, but for sure, I think nowadays getting a little bit nervous not to screw up in a semi-final, to get in the final, and then try to be relaxed there and do my best. So yeah, that's it.
Chatting with another one of the younger members of the climbing fraternity right now, Anak Verhoeven, and she's been barking at the best in the business in the Women's World Cup, and you've been much the same. Your results have been getting better and better throughout the year, and you must feel the same, that a World Cup win is only around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I like to go slow. Every year I think I improved step by step, so I really like it that way, because I have every year something new goal, and actually every year I made my goal, so I'm really happy and satisfied with that. Actually, for this year I already got my goal, because for this year my goal was just to stand on one podium of World Cup, and this is second already, in second place. So I don't know, I'll just enjoy it to the end of the season and we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Speaking of the end of the season, I know we head to Innsbruck in Japan next week, but in November you're on home soil back in Slovenia. You must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to Crown World Cup. I have to say that I always had some bad luck in Kran. I always screwed it up. Last year I did some stupid foot slip in a semi-final. I ended up, I don't know, 25th or 24th, something like that. And I just hope I enjoy in Kran and I climb good. That's it.
You've got some great teammates and a great coaching staff as well in Ramon, and your great teammates in Mina and Maya. Mina and Maya have got 25 World Cup victories between them. I'm sure that they've passed on some pearls of wisdom in their time.
Yeah, for sure they are a really good inspiration, and for sure I want to work really hard and get there someday as well.
What pieces of advice have Maya and Mina said to you?
I mean, actually nothing. We were just hanging around together, having trainings and everything, and I get some inspiration from them and everything. It's long term, I don't know how to say. We enjoy working together as a team. We understand each other really good, so I think this is the way, and yeah, for sure.
You're a young climber, and no doubt there'll be many young climbers watching this right now. What best piece of advice would you give them if, let's say, to stand in your shoes a couple of years from now? What's the best piece of advice you can give a young climber?
I think just to enjoy climbing, definitely. If you enjoy it, you have no problem to do everything to be really good in the sport. So. I mean, the first thing is to enjoy it. If you don't really enjoy it, then if you work hard, it won't matter, because I mean, you don't really want it. If you really want it, then this is your choice, and I mean, you will do it. You will succeed. So this is my only and the best advice. Enjoy it and really want it. So.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll see you wanting a gold medal around your neck very soon. Domen, best of luck for the rest of this competition.
Thank you.
Keen to hear the thoughts there of Domen Skofic, featuring two of the younger climbers on the World Tour, and Anak Verhoeven. We chatted to her before the semi-finals. You'll be able to replay that one on YouTube somewhere, and interested to hear what Domen's thoughts were as well. So then here we go, here are the 8 women who will line up. Now, what's going to happen for the format here, it's going to be an all-women final first, then an all-male final second. So you'll see all the women coming out first and then all the men afterwards. So it's not going to be alternate as we usually see in lead finals. We're changing the format here for the change. Aya Ono will be first of all, followed by Hélène Janicot, Yuka Kobayashi, then Katharina Posch, Anak Verhoeven, Magdalena Röck, and then the Slovenian duo of Mina Markovič and Maya Vedma. The 8 men they'll take to the wall in round about an hour from now are as follows. Mario Lechner, he'll be delighted to make a final, no doubt. Gauthier Subert of France, no doubt to try and redeem himself from what happened in Mokpo last week. Stefano Ghisolfi of Italy, Akito Matsushima of Japan, Ramon Julian Biblanque of Spain, Domen Skofic of Slovenia, Romain de Grange of France, and finally Sean McCall, who was topped out on all 3 routes. So, top of the hour, we get underway, and I am absolutely thrilled to have join me in the commentary box the 2014 World Champion of Bouldering and Lead, Adam Ondra. I've press ganged you, as it were, to come and join commentary with me this afternoon. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
One thing I must say, and probably everybody will want to know, tell me what happened in the semi-final.
Well, I've been dealing with a really bad skin for the last 2 weeks. I had 2 dry skin in Korea. Now I was really afraid it would happen again, and actually it happened the contrary. So I just peeled all my dry skin out, and I had such a soft skin, and there was a really technical part where there was a really bad slopey pinch, and it was just simply really hard to get through this.
Will it be, well, do you feel your skin might be ready for next week when in the final leg of this Asia Tour in Inzai? Do you think you'll be back to 100% or near about?
Well, hopefully, because there is still 1 week left, and at the same time I really need this motivational push again, and we are gonna climb outdoors with Sachi and Yuji Hirayama, so it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I hope I will regain the motivation for the competitions, because after Kikon it's been 2 competitions which were really disappointing, even though I've been training hard for them, and I felt pretty strong in the training, so let's see.
Absolutely. Yes, it is disappointing that you didn't make the final here, but well, I'm overjoyed to have you joining me in the commentary box, because no doubt as a world champion, and as we've mentioned in the past, that you're one of the best in the business, so we'll be intrigued to see how these guys tackle these routes. And as you can see on the big screen, that is the female route map. Me and you went out there about half an hour ago to see both these routes. What did you see?
So I think the female route is really technical at the beginning. You have to climb carefully in order to avoid the mistake that I did, whereas the second part is really physical, and it's just gonna go up to the point where who is gonna be stronger will win if you make it through the first part, and you will climb well the first part.
This is a case of the women's route. It's very much power hungry, isn't it? It's very much stamina sapping, and endurance is the key.
Yeah, I think that's the trend of the recent competition. More and more it's getting from the really pure stamina oriented route into the power endurance routes.
Absolutely, it's fascinating to see all the 8 women who will tackle that. You feel though, this route, Mina Markovič, it's her cup of tea, this route.
I think as Giant Kim unfortunately didn't make it to the finals, I think the route, at least the second part, is definitely going to fit Mina Markovič's strengths.
Well, the route setter said to me that they expect 1 top, that's what their target was, 1 top on each of these routes. And here's the first athlete coming out in this women's final. It's Aya Ono, the 19-year-old from Japan. 13th out in Mokpo last week, but World Youth Champion out in Noumea. Earlier this year, a month ago or so, I was there for that. And Aya Adam, another rising star. And what is it with these Japanese climbers? They keep producing these stars, don't they?
That's very interesting, because every time there is a new Japanese climber in the finals who you rarely get to hear, and you never know what to expect from these young Japanese climbers.
So Aya Ono just getting underway, beginning this final, as I mentioned, 13th in Mokpo last week, but winning the World Youth title.
So I think the route is quite tense from the beginning, and you have to climb really well. It's not like you just climb the first 6 draws just to warm up.
One thing I should mention as well is my apologies in advance, is we have been experiencing technical difficulties here in China with the live stream. I can only apologise for that. We are trying our utmost to try and give you this feed absolutely clean, but please be aware that the internet here in Wujiang hasn't been the best. And trust me, Adam can testament to that as well. He asked me to upload a video for him about an hour ago, so hasn't been easy. But it's been a patient staffer here, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so far she's climbing well. and she's been dealing well with the clips of the long draws, which, as you can see on the whole wall, most of the clips are actually long slings, so it's not the easiest thing to clip actually, and there is still, there is a space to make some mistake, get stuck for a couple of seconds, which will ultimately take some energy out of you, and it can influence you in the next move.
Interesting next part of the route here, something that made me and Adam laugh earlier. We're just looking up at both of these routes. The women's route seems to have an angry face in the middle of it, and the men's route has a big smiley face. It did ridiculous. You can see the route setters have got a good sense of humour on them.
Wow! Well, that was unexpected for sure.
What went wrong?
I didn't expect that the first part of the route would be really hard, but I can't really see if there is a hold on the volume from the left, but I think it was more like underestimating of the route. She definitely wasn't too tired to keep on going.
Well, Ian Ono scored 15 plus at the beginning of this final, but it's proof there, Adam, that it's not easy at the beginning of this route, and maybe a few of these climbers may struggle.
Sure, because it's really hard to combine these kind of different styles, because at the beginning you have to be really careful and to climb well, whereas on the top you have to just use your power. And I think most of the climbers are expecting to climb into the roof in order to use the power, but still you have to somehow get there.
Yeah, Ian Ono scores 15 plus. That's the target right now. Hélène Janicot of France, the 20-year-old, the world number 7, 36 plus, a top in qualifying, 30 plus in her semi-final. Made the podium last week in Mokpo, where she picked up the bronze medal. She's been third on 3 occasions in finals. But Adam, she always seems to be a climber that's always thereabouts, always consistently making finals, isn't she? Ellen, yes.
Yeah. I think that's she's not making many mistakes, and she's good at endurance routes, and she's good in rather power endurance routes, as we can see here. And I think she seems to be in a pretty good shape, as she was the only one who topped out the second qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely right there, Adam.
And she looked pretty solid in Korea last week, so.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff from Hélène Janicot last week.
Well, be careful about that clip. Well, yeah. As we could see that already at the beginning, there are some question marks that the climbers are not really sure how to continue.
Now this is where Ian Ono comes stuck.
Oh, looks hard.
Is she doing this the right way, do you feel? Because it does look at it.
I think it's the right way, but it's really sketchy, as you are not sure, as she wasn't sure if she should reach from the low feet or trying to put the feet higher. In the end, she decided to go for it from the low foot, and I think it was a good decision. But I know that volume, and I know that it's very sketchy, and you never know if it's going to slip or not. Especially as your skin is not perfect. It's like, to me it seems that's the case with the Chinese holds, as you can't really trust it 100%. Luckily, most of the holes are on the warm-up wall, so you can like test the friction of the holes. And
Hélène just having a little rest here.
I'm actually quite curious about how the next section is gonna be. At first, I thought it's gonna be wow, I thought it's gonna be the easiest section of the whole route, but actually it seems to be quite of a problem.
Well, it looks like many a climber are becoming a little bit unstuck here. 20 plus Hélène score, she does take the lead, but 6 climbers still yet to come out. And it looks like our route setters have given the female climbers a tough exam here this afternoon.
Yes, because already the very beginning seems to be quite hard and definitely making our female climbers a bit tired, and it doesn't seem that the route gets any easier higher up. And actually I don't see any rest, so it's gonna be interesting how the next climbers are gonna deal with that.
Well, we're already a quarter of the way through this final. We've only been going 7 minutes, so Yuka Kobayashi of Japan, the 26-year-old. 36, a 35 plus in qualifying, 31 plus in a semi-final. A couple of finals made this year as well. 8th place out in Hayang, 7th place in Gijon. She's a climber with definite world championship pedigree. She's made finals in world championships in the past as well. And no doubt, she'll be a dangerous athlete here, especially if she can really set a good target here, because it looks like, Adam, this is a very difficult route the route setters have set here, and if you go far early, in the final like Jakob did last week, you never know, it could be enough.
Yes, I think it's really important to be confident about these moves. Well, at the same time you have to take some risks, and you know that at the beginning everybody knows that it can be sketchy, there are some really awkward moves, and you have to think about every move really carefully, but at the same time, like, getting stuck make you more tired, and sometimes just getting stuck for a couple of seconds means that you're just getting a little bit too tired for the next move. So I think you just have to be confident, climb relatively fast, and not to get stuck anywhere, because with these routes, which are just power endurance and all the moves are super hard, there is no space for the mistake. Of course, this kind of style involves taking risks, and sometimes you are not lucky and you fall, but I think if you want to win and you don't have the margin of being way stronger than the rest of the field, you just have to go for it.
One thing I've noticed with your good self when I've seen you climb over the last couple of years and seeing other climbers as well is commitment. Well, what I mean by that is you make your decision and you go for it straight away. You don't like to think about it or second guess yourself. You just, when you made your mind up, you go for it straight away. And partly the reason is that you want to save your energy.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes, of course, it involves taking risks, and sometimes I end up being last in the semi-final or something like this, as I did today. But in the end, I still, if I wasn't confident, there would be no chance that I would be able to win, because I'm not much stronger than the rest of the guys. So, and I think maybe except for Jae Kim, who at least in some of the competitions she seemed to be just way stronger than the other climbers. But you know, every competition is different, and in the end, even she can do a mistake, as we saw today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you did miss out semi-final, Jae Kim went out, I think second to last it was, and she came off the wall rather early. She tried to make it a move, nearly slipped off, recovered, and then did the same move again, and then fell off. That's basically what happened. But now Yuka, a little bit of a different approach here.
She didn't seem very confident at the beginning. Hopefully she was able to recover a little bit from this in this little rest. Let's see what she's going to do in this awkward move. Hélène managed to reach from the low footholds. I think Yuka is definitely going to have to bring her feet up. I think it's kind of strange position, because if you have your feet low, it's kind of safe, but bringing your feet up feels really unsafe, or there is a probability of slipping. Yeah, come on. No.
Was that again another example of commitment? Like, if she would have gone for it earlier, maybe she would have made it, but the amount of time she spent on the wall thinking about it and then trying to make the move, that may have cost her.
it's always up to your decision. Sometimes if she went for it straight away, she would have probably done it, but at the same time there could have been a little trick that might have helped you. Yeah.
Yuka Kobayashi scored 17 plus, currently puts her into second place. Next climber out, very shortly. I believe it's Katharina Posch, yes it is. So then we'll see how she tackles this difficult opening section here. It's flummoxed the 3 climbers before her. Let's see if Katharina can. A 20-year-old from Austria, 36, 42 plus in qualifying, 35 in a semi-final. 2 finals this year, 5th in Moppo last week, 8th in Briançon as well. 4 of the semi-finals appearances for Katharina. So, it's a slow and steady start for the Austrian climber.
I think if the routes are hard, sometimes we can get some climbers climbing unexpectedly well, because the climbers who are not expected to win, they have no pressure, and especially in these kind of routes, they just decided to go for it, don't care about the possible mistakes, and if they got lucky, they can get pretty high. So.
Well, that's why it's a sport that we enjoy, isn't it, Adam? Because things like that can happen, you know? Like we saw it last week in Moppo, when we were hoping that the heavy rain wasn't going to come down. In the end, it was just drizzle, as it were, and we were hoping that wasn't going to have too much of an effect in the final. But Yuka went out 3rd in that, topping out. He came off the wall looking completely disappointed with himself. He thought somebody else was going to top. Look what happened, it didn't. So, you know, sometimes going out early can be a benefit.
Well, sometimes if you are out last, then you know you have to win, and you have to top out in order to win. For me, most of the times it works even better, as I know that I don't have to climb higher than the others, whereas for someone it's more stressful.
It's a school of thought that I'm keen to know about, especially with you guys. Would you like to know, before you leave isolation and you're about to climb, do you want to know what the target is, or do you prefer not knowing?
I would prefer to know it, probably, yeah. Because it makes you know where you have to try hard. So far, Kati's looking good, but let's...
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It's called the commentator's curse, you know. Trust me, I am the chairman. I put the kiss of death on people when I say that. Every time you say they're looking good, they come off the wall. Adam, trust me, it happens no end of times. Welcome to the club. Katharina scores 17 plus, and now we're halfway through this final.
Well, now we really know that it's a sketchy move, and even though I think Kati looked up to here really strong, and well, I couldn't see any difficulty of her having any difficulty up to this section at all.
Katharina goes into second place currently. Anak Verhoeven is the next climber out, and we're flying through this final, really. We've been going, 15 minutes, and we're already halfway through. They've really set up their stall, the route setters today, saying thou shall not pass, by the sound of it. It's been lightning fast currently, and now we're at arguably some of the greater climbers coming out now. Anak Verhoeven is the next one out. Anak, the 18-year-old, the one number 6. Had a good chat with Anak by the lake yesterday, which you would have seen before the semi-final. For Jules, it's just a matter of time now. It's not a moment of if, but maybe when she'll pick up her first World Cup crown. Going through her regular routine. Making sure she's in the right place before she starts.
1996年，我们来掰手指算一下，今年才刚刚18岁啊。
And number's 007. Let's see if she does have the license to thrill.
崭露头角，可以在世界杯的比赛当中排名第4位。所以比利时的女子运动员现在
Anak
非常的不错。
hasn't been up the top 6 all season.
世界杯攀岩分站赛
Bronze medalist in Hayang, bronze medalist in Briançon, silver medalist last week in Mokpo, 4th place in Chamonix, 4th at Race in Imst, 6th in the world final in Gijon.
我们期待着今天的精彩的表
She's
现。
disappointed that day.
光看这把快挂左侧的点多么的小啊！
Many glory days to come
可以通过大屏幕
for this young Belgian
一些
climber.
细节。攀岩需要我们的运动员的指力，需要大肌肉群的力量，需要耐力，
The leader so far is Hélène Janicot on 20 plus, halfway through this final.
需要他们的柔韧性，需要他们的平衡，需要不停地
Anak is the kind of climber who
像这样测试，把自己的中心贴近岩壁，更好的休息。
for her, I wouldn't say it would be 100% perfectly for her, as I think she prefers more stamina-oriented routes, but let's see how she will be able to deal with this route.
要一个人更好的动脑。
I think this year she made a huge progression and she's been consistently on the podium or just below the podium.
I think you'll agree with her assessment then when she said to me yesterday that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when she will win the World Cup
攀岩
crown.
会经常锻炼他的腰部力量、背部力量啊，所以各位，如果您对您的身材不满意，哈，不要单单的去健身房跑步，不妨到我
Well,
们
so far it seems that if Giant Kim has a really good day, nobody is able to beat her. Well, but even Giant Kim
Had a
can
bad
have a
day,
bad
yeah.
day.
过一次您就会深
Even world champions have bad days,
毕竟我就是一个很
because
好
that's the man next to me.
白球之星啊，就是因为我看了别人攀岩，我觉得
Act
哇
2 minutes into her allotted 8.
这项运动啊，于是我开始攀岩，我觉得很好啊。
Now, it'll be interesting to see how she tackles this section.
Not really sure about the sequence here.
偶尔也喝啤酒，当然需要
Why is
提
that?
醒大家，我们要需要健康的生活。
Well, I think it's better to hold the orange volume right hand. Wow, this was a hard move, but
运动员一样，
she's over this. Hopefully she can
继续为他加
recover.
油。哇，抓到了一个类似游泳圈或者像轮胎一样的造型，这个造型。
And here comes the sketchy
有
move.
的时候我们运动员很难抓握啊，我们定线员会使出一点点小的
Now,
技巧。
roughly the same as what Yuka
I
Kobayashi did
don't
before.
think she can read the same way as Hélène Janicot.
的支点上，再
I
加
think
入
she's going to bring her foot up.
注意看，岩壁上有很小的打螺丝的那种支点啊，用这种木螺丝打在岩壁上打钉点，这样它会很小的抓握，一点点的施力，有的时候需要一根手指去抓握那样的一个指动，哇，很难想象到我们的运动
Make
员
the move now, the looks of things.
但是他们更为强大的是他们的
Very
小
good.
宇宙，是他们的头脑保持清醒的状态。
One more
一起为他
move
加
to
油
go.
阿累阿累。
And she will be able to rest, I think.
目前来看仍然很轻松啊，比如注意观看他现在左手的支点在甩着手，那个点我们就叫做指动点。
Seems to be in a
他只有
tiny
几
little
根
bit
手
of
指插
a
在
grimace on her across her face.
身
She's
体的
been
中心
tiny little bit of pain there.
啊，很难想象。我们看到很优
Let's
秀的
see
一个运动员，平时的训练，
Yeah.
哇，继续观看比赛。
So she did the move where Hélène Janicot fell off.
如果没记错，这是第一个抓到这个绿色支点。现在很好休息吗？要控制自己的重心，现在是直臂。Yes, come on，阿累阿累，阿累阿累阿累。好的，现在我们听到赛场有不同的语言在为他加油。
Well, Anak will have the lead in this
Well,
final.
the route doesn't seem to get any easier, actually.
女士版的詹姆斯邦德能够
She's trying very well to find
大家觉得能爬
any
得动
tiny
吗？
place to rest.
能吗？
And I think she's really good at
掌
it.
声让她爬得更高好吗？
She has incredible ability to rest
谢谢，大家真的非
in the
常地
positions
帮助
which
我
are
们
not actually good
我
rests
相
at
信我
all.
们齐心协力，一起来配合，能赐予我们这批运动员更强大的正能量。
Tiny little crimp hole that she's just hanging onto there.
这个岩壁的中央，我们给他吃了一个能量棒，啊，为他加油就相当于给他补充了能量，赐予他能量，让他继续向上突破。加油，阿累阿累！
Still a lot of time on the clock. I think the second part of the route you have to just climb really fast and it's more straightforward.
Wow.
Well, Anak Verhoeven waits for the crowd. She does have the lead in this final.
And in the worst case, she's gonna be fourth.
Yes, that is correct. I don't think she realises it yet, but it just goes to show it's 24 plus, and Anak scored.
I think it was a good effort from Anak, but she definitely wasn't super pumped. It was just a strange move. I'm not sure if it was better to place a different foot hold. Let's see.
I'm just looking at my notes here from what the route setter told me, and he told me notes about regards to the roof section, and we haven't even got to there yet. He says there's a jump in the roof, very physical in the roof. Yeah. But the way it's going, I don't think anybody's going to get there.
I think you have to do 2 more moves, and then there is the dyno, which the route setter talked about. Well, to me it looks pretty hard.
Well, these are World Cups, and it seems our route setters have maybe woke up on the wrong side of bed this morning. They might have been in a nasty mood today, and I think they've vented their aggression on the 2 routes that they've set. Third to last climber, Magdalena Röck. The 20-year-old from Austria. Winner in Imst on home soil earlier this summer. That was a maiden victory on the World Cup circuit. 3 seconds in Wujiang, in Chamonix, in Briançon. 3rd place at the World Championships again. She was 3rd 3 years ago in Arco. 4th place last week in Mokpo. 24 plus is the target right now. That's Anak Verhoeven's score. She's currently the leader.
Competitors definitely know that the route is pretty tough from the very beginning. That might play some role as they're going to be more careful at the beginning.
Will you guys have an idea on the back in isolation when you're seeing climbers coming out and you think, hang on a minute, it's only 20-25 minutes into this final. This route must be hard.
Sometimes it's a problem because you are expecting that you're going to climb at, let's say, in 50 minutes if there are like 8 climbers to go.
So you're mentally preparing yourself for like 45 minutes into the final.
And you warm up just in time, and then you are done with your warm up and you are called to climb. And actually you might not be rested by the time you are supposed to climb. So that can be a problem.
Magdalena hasn't wasted much time getting to this section.
So far looking good. No.
Disappointment for Magdalena Röck. On the opposite, we said patience could hurt you. Was that a case of she went a little bit too quickly?
I don't think so. It was a strange move and you have to get it. Maybe she had a sweaty hand. It's hard to say really.
Or could this be a case of, as you mentioned, she was preparing for 4:40, 4:45 to get ready?
I don't think it was underestimating the move for Magdalena.
Well, there you have it. You see on the screen right now of where we stand and where they've got to. Anak Verhoeven there, 24 plus. Hélène Janicot, 20 plus. Katharina Posch, 17 plus. That's the top 3 as run. Magdalena Röck's score hasn't been entered, by the way, so I can't give you that one currently. Mina Markovič has now entered. Now we'll see, Adam, how difficult this route is. Because if Mina can't tackle it, then who can? Magdalena Röck, by the way, is now in 3rd place. 17 plus was his score.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see Mina in the first part because I think she definitely prefers the steep section much more. In case she's going to be she's able to climb through the first sketchy part, she's gonna climb really well. Anyway, she's prepared physically very well, so even though she makes some mistakes, she's still able to keep going.
Yeah, there was something that I chatted to her about in Gijon and last week actually in Mokpo, that she said she's been getting better and better as the season goes on.
Yeah,
I think she's
definitely.
It's something I've noticed as well.
At the beginning, she definitely wasn't as strong as last year.
I'm just looking at her results: 5th in Haiyang, 3rd in Chamonix, 6th in Byeonsun, 5th in Inns, and 2nd in Gijon, 1st last week in Mokpo. So, been getting better and better.
Well, she looked really strong in Mokpo. The wall was perfect for her as well. Really physical, overhanging.
So then let's see how Mina tackles this bit. Now then, she's the first one to notice that. The little red hold on the right-hand side, and according to our route map, that's the way you should go.
And it seems that it's a better solution actually. Let's see if the other Slovenian climber, Maja Widman, is gonna have the same idea. So far looking way stronger than everybody else, because so far she did everything perfect.
Taking a little bit of a rest. 24 plus, Anak Verhoeven's 24 plus is what is needed.
There's quite okay hold, a little higher up, but you have to be committed to go for it. And of course, as a climber, you can't really be sure if it's as good as you expect, or yeah, this is looking good.
3 minutes down. Plenty of time in hand. Excellent flexibility there from the Slovenian.
Incredible finger strength from Mina.
Now then, Adam, we're interested to see how she tackles this roof section.
Here might be this dyno that the route setter was talking about. Interesting rest point from the route setter side.
So what can the 26-year-old do here? What ace does she have over the sleeve?
She's not sure if she can reach the next hold, or maybe she's going to match. Oh, okay. This is the dyno.
Oh, superb.
Nice.
Superb stuff from Mina Markovič. That was the dyno we were talking about. And now she can really lay the marker down here and set the target for her teammates to catch.
Now she should be in the zone. This is perfectly for her. Come on. Wow.
Excellent though. Excellent effort. It really was.
Yeah. Let's see if it's going to be enough for the victory, but I think it was a good effort.
31 plus is what Mina Markovič scored.
This route is by no means easy, and she looked way stronger than the rest of the field.
Maya Vidmar is the last climber to come out. Won 10 World Cups in the past. Hasn't won though in a while. She needs to pass Mina Markovič's 31 plus to take victory here. Anak Verhoeven guaranteed a medal. She's in second place right now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the last peer athlete. Let's welcome Mina Markovič from Slovenia. 最后一位运动员，来，大家给他点掌声。来自斯洛文尼亚的维德玛。
Briançon 2011, 3 years ago, was the last time Maya Vidmar tasted World Cup victory.
It's really nice to see Maya being back in the game, back on the top of the World Cup. She had many ups and downs in her career. I think she won World Cup at least once in her career.
10 times, Adam, yeah. A lot of it.
Well, even overall.
Even the old school World Cups.
Yeah.
10 times a World Cup winner, third in the World Championships twice. But 31 plus is what the target is right now. Maya 32 plus, 34 plus in qualifying, 36 plus in a semi-final. She was the leader. Taking part in 4 of 6 events this season. 12th night in Briançon, made the final in IMS, where she came in 4th place. Made the world final, where she came in 5th. 9th place in Mokpo last week. Just missing out.
Going for a harder method. Going down to think about it. Well, unsure what to do.
Yeah, taking an unorthodox approach there, wasn't she?
This is definitely gonna cost her some strength. Wow.
Game over.
Yeah.
Game over. Mina Markovič picks up yet another World Cup crown, her 16th now. She is the winner here in Wujang. Not Maya Vidmar's day, unfortunately. Come unstuck in the early part of this route, as did many climbers before her. But it means the top 3 in the women's final is Mina Markovič winning it with 31 plus, Anak Verhoeven second place 24 plus, Hélène Janicot third 20 plus. It's as you were like last week. Exactly the same result as last week. So then one final down, 1 to go. A couple of minute break before we start the men's break, a 5-minute break in fact. Before the men get underway. I'll run you through the scores. The top 8. Mina Markovič, winner here in Wujiang, 31 plus. Anak Verhoeven, 24 plus in second place. Hélène Janicot, third, 20 plus. Then Magdalena Röck, 17 plus. Ahead of Katharina Posch, 17 plus. And Yuka Kobayashi, 17 plus. Those three, of course, split because of the comeback score of the semi-finals. Aya Ono, 7th place, 15 plus. And Maya Vidmar with a 13 in 8th place. Here in Wujiang, the sun sets on Lake Benhu. We're moments away from the men's final. Adam, let's chat about this women's final all in all. Is that one of the toughest exams you've seen a route setters make in a World Cup final? Is that one of the hardest routes you've seen route setters make in a women's final? Say again, Adam.
I remember that some years ago in Xining in China there was a really hard female and male finals as well. Especially for the male, that was quite a bad final because I think the winner didn't even make it halfway up and still he won. So.
Well, Mina Markovič made it about what?
A little bit past the middle.
Three quarters of the way up, I think, of that route. But that's the exam that the route set is set.
You know, it's really hard to gauge how hard the route is gonna be for the route setters, as they have been working hard for the last 4 or 5 days and they have no skin left and and stuff like this.
But one thing must be said, it is a very hard job that they do.
For sure. And in the end, sometimes it depends a lot on them who is gonna win. If they don't see one spot where it's, for example, really morphological, so the short climbers can't reach, and that's gonna make the short climbers, who might be actually the strongest out of the field, fail. I think that's not fair then.
Okay,
but they have to think about everything.
Well, let's preview the men's final. So we had a look at the routes earlier as well. Again, both the same as the women's. It's very much power, endurance. Yeah,
well, the female final in the end turned out to be, rather than power endurance, pretty bouldery, I would say.
Yeah.
And in the end, as we could see at least on Mina's climbing, there were some rests. Whereas I think in the male finals it's gonna be a little bit more straightforward. I don't think that the first 4 clips would be so hard. Then the French router told us that there is some rest at the 4th clip. And then it pretty much seems to be like that you have to keep going, and
yeah. There's a red volume about halfway up, which is at the bottom of your screen right now, on the left-hand side of the wall. You thought it was a move, but actually the route setter said it was a rest. And you're a world champion.
Yeah. You know, if you don't know the holds, it's really hard to gauge how the hold is gonna be. And sometimes it's really hard if you're climbing and you make yourself ready for the next hold, and you have no clue how the next hold is gonna be, and you have no clue if you can afford going for the next hold in a dynamic way, or you have to like try really hard and to go there static.
Well, you got away with it last time. I didn't ask you for a prediction ahead of the women's final, but I will ask you ahead of this men's final. Okay, I'll change the question. Who does this route suit more than any others?
I think the route is about 45 moves, and it is short enough for the Sean to climb really non-stop from the ground to the top without any single rest. So if he's going to be able to keep up that pace, I think it would be a really good route for him.
Okay then. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Domen Skofic actually. So I thought he was my pick. I think he climbed well last week. I think I'm going to see him doing well this week. So, but bear in mind, I've been wrong many times before. I'll be wrong many times in the future as well. Mario Lechner is the climber getting
university.
Okay.
So studying for this, doing some cross-country skiing, maybe skiing. So
that's something you enjoy in the off-season.
Yeah. I really enjoying the winter season back at home, and just being more relaxed and not like, in general my life is pretty hectic if I go to school and and do all the training and traveling for the trainings and for the competition, so it's nice to like really be totally relaxed for these 3 weeks.
Me and you did a little fun quiz, didn't we, in that boxing ring in Gijan. There's one thing that I was intrigued to hear. Like I asked you, it is on a video, by the way, that we are going to put up of what you, Jakob and Sachi did in Gijan in that boxing ring. But there's a little fun question I asked you about what's your favourite TV program, and you said, I don't watch TV. but now I'm thinking to myself, why? Because you're just too busy. Either training, sports. You don't have time to relax at home. You know.
Well, I think if you watch TV, you have to watch what the TV is broadcasting now. And as I'm so busy, and if I want to relax, I want to watch what I want to watch, and not what the TV tells me to watch.
So you're more of a DVDs box set man, you know?
In general, I don't watch that many movies at all. So if I have the time, I watch some video on the internet. Most of the time climbing, and that's it.
Climbing is what you live and breathe, though, isn't it? So even when you're at home, you still want to watch. You're still trying to find ways to improve. Even sitting on a laptop, you're still trying to find a way.
Sure, I like watching climbing movies because there is a space how to improve watching the other climbers climb. But nevertheless, I don't think that I live 100% just by climbing, and that's why I'm studying as well. Because I think it's nice to have this kind of distraction and not to think about climbing 24/7.
So tell me about your academic career then. So what are you studying right now?
I'm studying economics and I'm in the 3rd semester, business management.
So economics. So have you and Jakob had a good chat about economics then? Because I know he loves economics, doesn't he? Like he's been telling me that if he wasn't a climber, he'd be a world famous economist. He told me, you know. So have you guys had a chat about the economy then, and not just climbing?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, no way. So economics and business management is what you're going into. And you're not the only one who chatted about academic. Louis Timmermans is studying law as well. You know, a few other climbers who like to keep their brain going as well as their brawn as well. So
at the same time, I think just living a climbing lifestyle just gave you this great advantage to travel around and get to see how the world looks like, and just being too ignorant, focusing just on climbing and, you know, show me the gym, show me the rocks, and just ignoring everything else, that's pretty much a pity.
I can understand in a way where you're coming from, because you know, like, you love climbing, you live and breathe that sport, and you know, it's all to show the amount of time and effort you put, not just in training but in competitions as well, and also on the outdoor scene. You know, like, I can testament to that sport I love, golf.